Never feel guilty about protecting your peace. There are some people, they get very upset because you go to great lengths to protect your peace. You are not about allowing people to play with you mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You protect your peace from other people's negative energy, and you should never feel guilty about that. Sometimes, as women, we feel like we are obligated to put up with other people, their negativity, their jealousy, their envy, their bad behavior, simply because we are women. We're supposed to be more patient, more classy, more dainty. None of that stuff matters when it comes to protecting your peace. There are some people, they deliberately come into your life because they want to disrupt your peace, because they want to put out their toxic, negative energy towards you. When you start recognizing that constantly putting up with other people's negativity is not good for you, you no longer feel guilty about protecting your peace. See, when people don't have peace, they want to disrupt those people who do have peace. When people only know how to thrive in chaos and drama, they will begin to resent people who do not operate and live their lives that way. So you should not feel guilty about protecting your peace from miserable, jealous, envious people. Now, don't be surprised when you get very strict and start putting those boundaries in place to protect your peace. There are going to be some people who are going to look at you as if you've changed. They're going to assume that you're very cold. When you start distancing yourself from people or cutting people off, there are going to be some people who are going to assume that you're selfish, that you don't care about anyone but yourself. And a lot of times that is not true. See, a woman who no longer feels guilty about protecting her peace, it's not that she doesn't feel for other people. She just understands that her mental and emotional bandwidth is worth protecting herself from other people's miserable energy. This brings me to the first point. When you are dealing with people who get upset because you protect your peace and you don't make apologies for it, they will be upset because they are no longer allowed into your inner circle. When you begin to protect your inner circle, now this is a very, very important part of protecting your peace. When you no longer associate with people who you pick up on their negative energy, their jealousy, their envy, or their miserable behavior, when you start recognizing that being around them causes your nervous system to be out of whack, you get more strict when it comes to protecting your peace. Even the back and forth thing with other women, when it comes to jealousy and envy, you don't have any hesitation when it comes to walking away from people. See, the days of trying to prove yourself and trying to show people that you can go back and forth with them, that's over. You see, some of the strongest people do not go back and forth with people who do not matter to them. They simply protect their peace. They know how to ignore people. They know how to get gone, get ghost when you need to. You know how to put on that disappearing act when you need to protect yourself from other people's negativity. So there will be people who will get upset with you, who will not like you because you do a lot to protect your peace. This includes being blatantly disrespectful if need be. Now, when I say blatantly disrespectful, I don't mean that you're going out your way to disrespect people, but if somebody comes to you and they're trying to be smart, they're trying to be funny, they're saying all little negative things, trying to shade you, you don't mind shutting that down mid-sentence. One of the ways that women protect their peace from jealous, envious, or just straight up miserable people is shutting them down in that moment. So if somebody is shading you or saying something negative towards you, you don't feel guilty for telling that person, I don't want to hear that. There have been many times that I've straight up said, I don't want to hear that. Or I walk away from the conversation. You see, leaving somebody on read mid-conversation, that is the ultimate way to protect your peace. Yeah, it might appear rude to some people, but if somebody is going out their way to try to say things and do things to put you in an awkward or uncomfortable position, I believe that it's okay to make other people uncomfortable when they're trying to make you uncomfortable. So there will be some people who get mad because you don't make apologies or you don't feel guilty for protecting your peace from miserable, toxic, jealous, and or envious people. And this is also including people that you might consider family and friends. You know, sometimes family, not all families, but some families, some people in your family, sometimes they can be the biggest disruptors to your peace, especially those who feel entitled, are very inconsiderate. And anytime you say the words no, or you have something of your own going on that you don't have time to entertain their foolishness, they will act like you are the worst person in the world. Don't allow people who believe they are entitled to you just because you are family, that they can misuse you, take advantage of you, and do whatever they want and say whatever they want to you simply because it's you. Don't feel guilty for protecting your peace from those people. You know what I've learned along the way? A lot of people are very selfish. And even those well-intentioned people, they will still always put themselves first. Whatever you might need will never take precedent over what they have going on. When you start recognizing that, you begin to operate in the same way. You don't feel guilty or feel bad about putting yourself first. You don't feel guilty or feel bad about recognizing that somebody is a snake and then staying away from them. So these people are mad because you do not feel guilty about protecting your peace. Now, when it comes to women and women being jealous and envious of other women, when you begin to protect your peace from these people, you don't care if you don't have friends. And I'm not saying that you should not want friends, but you will forgo or cut off relationships if it's bringing too much chaos and drama into your life. There are some women, they will continue on in friendships and speaking to women who they know are their biggest hater. They will begin to allow women in their inner circles, in their homes, knowing that every time they come around, they have something negative to say. Knowing that every time they're around them, their nervous system becomes unhinged because they feel very antsy around somebody who they know is secretly their enemy. I say that to say, when you no longer feel guilty about protecting your peace, you don't care if you lose friends. You don't care if people get distance from you. You'd rather have distance between yourself and other people before you allow the wrong people into your life so they can disrespect you, disrupt your peace, and do things that would be considered disrespectful toward you. So these people will get mad when you don't feel guilty about protecting your peace. Now, when a woman starts protecting her peace and her boundaries are in place, you have to understand how people are going to perceive you and be okay with it. When you start protecting your peace from miserable, toxic people, number one, people are going to assume that you think you're better than other people. And that just kind of comes with the territory of protecting your peace. When you're not willing to allow messy, miserable people into your life, when you're not willing to put up with their behavior, automatically people are going to assume that you think you're better. Simply because you don't like the drama, simply because you don't like the toxicity, simply because you don't want to subject yourself to things that you just don't have to deal with. You don't have to deal with somebody's little smart remarks or backhanded compliments. You don't have to deal with somebody constantly trying to dump on you every time you have something good to say. See, dealing with those kind of people continuously, constantly, that can be very exhausting, and you refuse to do it. So these people are mad because you don't feel guilty about protecting your peace from miserable, jealous, envious, or toxic people. Another thing that people will assume about you when you start protecting your peace from their misery, from their jealousy, from their envy, is that you're selfish. Now, I'm going to say something that might not sit right with some people, but it is what it is. As women, I believe that sometimes we need to be a little bit selfish. We need to be a little bit more exclusive with ourselves. There are some women, they treat themselves as an all-inclusive kind of environment, as if everybody is welcome and everything is welcomed. When you don't feel guilty about protecting your peace, everybody and everything is not welcome into your life. And this is including people that you have to be in close proximity to. You don't feel like just because somebody is your coworker, that means you have to put up with their disrespect. You don't believe that just because you're related to someone, that means that you have to tolerate their negativity toward you. You see, when you stop feeling guilty about protecting your peace, you don't care about making other people feel uncomfortable, and you don't necessarily worry about their feelings. Now, I'm not saying that you will go out of your way to try to hurt other people's feelings, but a woman who gets a little bit more selfish about herself and protecting her peace, she starts looking at how she feels. And I'll give you this. Back when I was younger, it took me a minute to start realizing I don't have to worry about, or I can't keep worrying about how other people feel. I have to focus on how I feel too, because I am just as important as the next person. You might hear me say that often, and it's because it's true. See, when you no longer feel bad about protecting your peace, when you no longer feel bad about protecting your own feelings opposed to worrying about everybody else's, you don't care if other people think you're a villain. You don't care if other people think you're selfish. You don't care if other people see you as thinking that you're better than others, because you value yourself, because you care about your own mental. You care about your own emotional well-being. You're not willing to let anybody tap dance on your nerves with their negativity, all because you're trying to play nice with people who are miserable. So these people are mad because you go out of your way to protect your peace, and you do not feel guilty about it. Do not let miserable, toxic people make you feel guilty about shielding yourself from them. And a lot of people will be upset about it, because when you protect yourself from another person, you're showing them that they are the problem. When you start getting quiet and not interacting with negative people, so I'll give an example. If you notice that a girl at your job is very toxic, she's coming off as a very miserable, envious, or jealous kind of person, she always has something negative to say, you might stop talking to her in the office. You might not have lunch with her anymore. You might just shut down that little interaction, and now you're leaving her wondering, why isn't she speaking to me anymore? You see, those kind of things, when it gets to be too much, I don't believe in long, drawn-out explanations unless something happened. But if somebody is showing you that they're miserable and they just want to take that out on you, they just want to have that negative energy rub off on you, you have to protect yourself, protect your peace from that person. I have worked in many toxic work environments where there were people who thought they could use me as their target simply because I was not confrontational. This brings me to the next point. There will be some people who get mad because you are protecting your peace and you don't feel guilty about it, because you are not confrontational as a person. When you are not a confrontational person, meaning you don't like a lot of conflict, there will be some people who act like you do not have the right to protect your peace, to protect yourself from their jealousy, their envy, or their toxicity. See, sometimes being a non-confrontational person, to people who are miserable, jealous, or envious, that might signal to them that you are some kind of easy target for their misery, for their jealousy, and for their negativity. See, when I was younger, I wasn't that kind of confrontational person. And really right now, I still don't like confrontation. I'll deal with it if it comes, but I'm not seeking it out. I just kind of let things ride, or let things go, or get away from things. I think that's the wiser option. But I say that to say, to bitter, miserable people who like to operate in darkness, sometimes they see people who are non-confrontational as an easy target. When you start recognizing that there are some people who are trying to play on the fact that you are not confrontational, and they will try to use that to make your life miserable, that's when you get more aware that you have to protect your peace from those people. That's when you don't engage with those people. That's when you distance yourself and recognize it for what it is. There are some people, if they're not operating in drama and chaos, they don't know how to be. It's like being normal, being calm, being peaceful is a foreign concept to them. Like it's abnormal to them. So these people are mad because you don't feel guilty about protecting your peace, and nor should you. See, when a person sees that you don't like a lot of confrontation, those are the people who feel like you're weak, you're this, you're that. Understanding that what they feel about you does not matter. You can maintain your peace the way they perceive you, especially if you are a peaceful person. If you know you're not bothering anybody and you just have people who constantly want to disrupt your peace, let them think whatever they want to think about you. If they think that you not responding or you not engaging or you not being around them makes you weak, so be it. If they think you're boring because you don't want to entertain their nonsense and go back and forth with them, so be it. As grown women, I have to say, the whole days of going back and forth with people and just arguing and debating and doing all those things, being catty and jealous and mean toward other women just because, that is very low, what they say, low vibrational? Yeah, that's very low vibe kind of behavior. So you don't feel bad about protecting your peace from miserable, jealous people. And you shouldn't. Maintain your peace. Don't let people make you feel guilty for protecting your peace and shielding yourself from their toxicity. Even if it's family, even if it's coworkers, whomever it is, your mind and your peace of mind, nobody should be able to play with that. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, leave the cute little high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.